I'm going to share my screen. Is that okay?
Of course it is.
Okay, and you have to tell me if you can see it. Can you see Level Up?
Yes.
Awesome. Okay, so thank you. I really want you guys to look at those numbers and be encouraged, not feel like it's unattainable. Because if you had told me a year ago that that would have been my numbers for July, I probably would have laughed in your face. If you told me 2 years ago, I would have said no way. But I hope tonight that I can bring you some practical strategies to increasing your Success Club numbers, and just really empowering you to dream big and to just level up. I think we hear a lot of times about that in the business, but truly everything that we succeed at is of our own power. I have a much different story than Stephanie. And I will share just briefly about that because I feel like that has a lot to do with what I'm sharing tonight. So I have no active upline. She's trying to get back in the business at this point. I signed up with my cousin. So you guys are so blessed to be part of a thriving team that's growing. Please don't take that for granted. That is just incredible for your income, incredible for morale. Everything that I've built alone. And so I've always been inspired by Lindsay that way because she is the top earner in the company and she did it all on her own without an active upline. So I never use that as an excuse. I will have been a coach for 4 years a business building coach for 4 years in January. And I just love Eat, Sleep, Breathe Beachbody because it's completely changed my life. I've lost over 145 pounds between 2 postpartum journeys. And I have no reason to be successful at this business. I was obese when I became a coach. So right there, I did not have an after. So I started coaching when I was not at my goal weight. I have no business background. I have a college or a high school education. On paper, I'm probably your worst coach. I had no social media following. I mean, just all of the reasons why I could have just been like, well, this is hard. I'm not going to do this. And I just want you to know that everything that you have in you right this second is what is going to empower you to see success in that business. And this success is a choice. And so I just want to give you 5 strategies tonight of how I hit high Success Club numbers, because Success Club has always been my jam. And I really feel like in the last year I'm coming into my leadership role. So I fully anticipate us being an elite team this year. But I am a Success Club rock star. Like, that's my jam. And I don't say that to be prideful, but there are a couple reasons why that's so easy for me. Like, it's August 15th and I'm already at SC16 and I've not sent any invites. Like, it's just one of those things that has come so consistency over long haul. It becomes easier. So I'd love to hear, do we have new coaches on the call? Do we have seasoned coaches on the call? Drop in the chat. I mean, I'm going to look at that real quick before I get started because I kind of want to know who I'm talking to. 3.5 years. Oh, Stephanie, you're awesome. We're about the same. 2-ish years, 3 months, 1 year. Awesome. New coach. Okay, so a wide range. All right, so I think everyone will hopefully take something away from this. And I also don't want you to discredit yourself because you weren't in the Morning Meltdown 100 test group, because misconception is that that's the reason I had high Success Club numbers. It's actually the last 3 years of busting my butt in the business that has paid off. So you do not have to be in a test group to see success. In fact, some of my most successful months as a coach are launch months, and I've never been in a test group before. TransforME 20 blew my business wide open. That's how I got in the Morning Meltdown 100 test group. When Country Heat launched, blew my business open. When Quarter Force launched, blew my business open. So you're in the beginning stages of Morning Meltdown. You are just beginning your promotion for it. Like, the fact that this is so easy in the test group, we were not allowed to talk about anything. So for 2 months, I couldn't even say anything about what I was doing. You have the calendar. If you are not sharing your calendar every single day on your Instagram stories, you are shooting yourself in your foot in your business. And so I want you to lean into Morning Meltdown, hopefully use some of these strategies to just take your business and level up in the next couple of months. So I want to hear in the chat, what fear holds you back in your business? What are some things in your business that scare you, that you feel like you have trouble overcoming? I'd love to hear what that fear is. I told you guys I love active chats. They make my heart happy. Oh, wait just a second. Hopefully y'all can pop in. Not being successful. Oh, I so felt that. Overcoming, expanding my network. I felt that too. Over-promising, cold market invites, ew, gross MLMs. Gosh, y'all are my people. We could talk forever about this. Okay, so there's a lot of fear here when it comes to coaching. But this fear, we have the opportunity every single morning to choose. I signed on a new coach this week that her husband has cancer. He had chemo on Monday. On paper, she is in the worst season of her life to coach. And she said, life is too short to be on somebody else's time clock. I'm going for this, and I want this. And she said, my goal is to have overcome every fear I have about the business in the next week. I was like, holy freaking cow, that is so inspiring. What if you viewed it as that mentality of whatever is scaring me in my business right now, I give myself 1 week to overcome that fear. I'm thinking back to the last couple years of my business, because they've been an uphill battle. Growing a team has been a huge uphill battle for me, and it's because the first 2 years, I was afraid of being a leader. I was afraid of leading other people because I didn't have a leader to show me the way. And so in 2019, I said, to heck with that fear. I'm going to figure out how to be a good leader this year, and that's my number one goal. And so if Success Club is your nemesis, let's figure out a way to overcome that together. So strategy number one, in the entire 3.5 years that I've been a coach, I have always 100% led with my results. And if you do not have a transformation photo from the last 30 days, I'm not talking you posted a transformation photo that no one's seen. I'm saying you do not have a transformation from a program in the last 30 days, your business is going to struggle. When you are eating, sleeping, breathing what we do, it is so freaking easy to invite. It is so easy to share because you have something to share. And I don't say that in a finger pointing, gotta be perfect kind of way. I'm an emotional eater. I've overcome that in my journey. But every step of the way, I have had a new transformation for every single program. Now, and I was looking at Stephanie's page earlier. She even showed a transformation from her first pregnancy to her third pregnancy, y'all. She is still doing that. Even though she is pregnant, she's not using it as an excuse. So really think about, if you're asking somebody to spend $160 on a challenge pack, if they can't look at your profile and know that they can trust you to be in the trenches with them, why are they going to sign up with you? And so throughout the course of my business, I have always led with results first. I'm trying to talk more about the business now because it's changed our family so much, but I have for Success Club, you should lead with results in both your physical journey and your coaching journey. So it goes both ways, because if you're sharing the results of your mind, how has your mindset changed since becoming a coach? And how does your community help you? How do you handle conflict now that you're a coach versus before? And how has being a coach helped you? It goes both ways. It's not just your physical results, but that is what has worked well for me. And we all have opportunity to fine-tune our mind, our bodies, our goals. And if you're not leading with the results, you're really doing your business a disservice. Having a new transformation every 30 days is so crucial for me. So when I completed Transform 20, and this is my advice to you, this is what I want you to do for Morning Meltdown 100. Every 10 days, I want you to share a new progress picture. Day 1 to day 10, day 1 to day 20, day 1 to day 30. And you do that the whole length of the program. I did that with Transform 20. Every Sunday night, I followed Emily Falver. She did that with 80 Day Obsession, and dang, did that blow her business up. And I said, well, I'm going to replicate that for me. Every Sunday night, I shared a transformation, 7 days, 14 days, 21 days. And so that's your challenge for Morning Meltdown 100. It may feel like you're going to be your own worst critic, but until you get out of your own head and get out of your way, this is where you're going to build trust so that people are going to want to join you, is to lead with this. I see the chat blowing up. I love it. I'm coming back to it. I promise. It's so awesome. Okay, so what does your transformation say about your business? If it says that your business is stagnant, you probably don't have a recent transformation. If you're feeling like you're getting a lot of no's, where's your mindset? what transformation have you had with your mindset? So lead with the results in your life, physical, mental, emotional, the whole package. And that's always been my number one strategy as a coach, and it's really helped me with Success Club. So strategy number 2, free groups. So this is something that I have shifted in the last year that I feel like is really helpful for not just myself, but also my team. We do everything as a team. We're not super, super big yet, but we do everything as a team. And so it gives my downline an opportunity to invite people without feeling weird about it. I can probably guess that 90% of you on the call feel weird about sending invites. Number 1, you're gonna have to get over that. But number 2, free groups is a really great opportunity to invite your face off for an opportunity to build trust in relationships. So for my advice on free groups, I pick a consistent time each month to run a free group. For us, we always run it the last week of the month because you should have already hit Success Club by the midpoint in the month. Like your goal should always be Success Club by August 15th, because otherwise I have been in the shoes. The first year of my business, I was the pull it out of my butthole kind of coach, where it was the last day of the month and I was like, I'm not missing another Success Club. And I would stay up until midnight trying to find one more person because dang it, I was not going to miss that. It was a non-negotiable. And y'all, if other successful coaches are telling you to hit Success Club, even if you don't know how to, you're going to die trying. Like that's going to be your non-negotiable goal. I see people laughing. I should probably pop in the chat. But pick a consistent time each month. Ours is the last week of the month because here's what happened. When you run it then, you have a full group of relationships that you have built, so that come the first of the new month, you have 30 new people that you can invite to your challenge group. And it's just really great timing for you to be able to lock in Success Club early in the month. All right, I'm going to look at this chat real quick. That's how I hit All-Star in my first 12 months of the business. Love it.
Can I ask a quick question while you're talking about
it?
So you said you do everything as a team. So you do one big free group with everybody?
Yep.
I love that. Like, love that. Okay.
But here's the expectation that I place on my team. So I'm really strict about running stuff. My leaders get one chance to run something with me, and if they flunk out, then they're gonna have to work really hard to run, because our cultures represent who we are. You give somebody a taste of a free group and it sucks. Okay, point in case, every free group that you're gonna run isn't gonna blow up. I did a 7-day recipe share last week. Was it last week? Week before. And it sucked. Nobody, I had like 300 people in there. Nobody posted. It was horrible. I was like, well, I guess nobody wanted to swap recipes. Okay, that didn't work. Now here, I didn't internalize that as a failure. It's an opportunity to grow. Like, okay, cool. Our network doesn't want recipes. That's not their thing. So what is our thing? So invite, and here's the thing about free groups. You need to, whatever your normal inviting is, whether it's 3 people a day, you need to invite 10 people a day to a free group, because there's no reason that you can't triple your numbers, because it's free. You're not asking anything of them. You're giving them this opportunity to have all this free, awesome content. There should be no mental barrier behind that. Treat it at our most successful free groups. We treat as a sneak peek into our challenge groups. So we run them literally the way that we run our challenge groups: a daily accountability post first thing in the morning, comment below with your sweaty selfie. Here's some advice, da, 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 da. That's how we run our challenge groups. But this is where my leaders come in, and this is where you guys can come together as a team. I have my leaders be huge faces in the group. And so every day we have a leader that goes live and offers some advice. So maybe on Monday, Paige talks about 3 tips on how to overcome emotional eating. Maybe on Tuesday, Chelsea talks about favorite family-friendly meals. On Wednesday, somebody goes in and talks about carb swaps. And you have other people who are providing value. It also gives your leaders some ownership. So if you're scared of being a leader, you need to get in on leading a free group, because you have this opportunity to practice under somebody else's guidance, but you also have to step up. If you're going to be in that free group, girl, you better invite to it. So that really has helped my whole team kind of do it as a united effort, and our free groups tend to really be awesome. I know I'll probably get this question. We run them all in the same page. So every month we just rename it, and it's all the same group, same people. Sometimes it takes somebody 3 to 4 months before they decide to buy a challenge pack, because they're in that group every single month. And those 3 weeks that there's nothing going on in there, they're like, well, dang, I could be having this all the time, and they eventually get started. Follow up like a boss. This is something I'll talk about a little more in a second, but they're probably, the odds of people saying yes to you the first time, I hate to break it to you, it's probably pretty slim. Very rare are you going to invite somebody and they're going to be like, yeah, girl, here's $160, let me throw it your way. That you have to realize that they're going to be your third, your fourth, your fifth follow-up. One of the new coaches on my team, she ghosted me for 5 months. She said, Rachel, I'm ready, I'm in. 3 different times I sent her a share cart, and I just felt the tug. I was like, I am not giving up on this girl. I followed up for 5 months, and she never responded back to me. You know what she said to me when she signed up? She said, thank you for never giving up on me. It's not about harassing somebody. It's about you believe so deeply in what you're offering them that you're going to follow up with them because they told you that they wanted it. And something inside them is holding them back, and it's your job to show them that it's just them, then they need to get out of their own way. So follow up like a boss after free groups. You keep pouring into those people when that free group is over. So strategy 3 is long-term consistency. And this is where I hit Success Club 240 something in July. It's because of 2.5 years of consistent recruiting every single month. My minimum was SC10. And so you have to have the mentality of not being here 1 year from now, being here 2 years from now, being here consistently 2 years from now, not falling off for a month when your kids go back to school and things get tough. You are here every single daggum day, whether your life is hard or not, showing up on your social media, plugging into and leaning into the hard for your team culture so that 2 years from now, that consistency, it will compound. And you will have a month where you're hitting Success Club numbers you never dreamed of. Because of those 242 points, I would guess at least 160 are probably current clientele. Current or past clientele who decided that they had quit, had stopped, and then decided to restart, or completion packs of people, and we're going to talk about how to help with customer retention in a second. Completion packs of people who are in my tribe, like for the long haul. That's how 2 years from now, that's what you're going to have when you're consistent. Every time I hear a top coach speak, I think if they're telling me something to do, why do I think that I know better and I'm going to do it a different way? If every top coach is telling me that 4 vital behaviors are important, well, I should probably do the 4 vital behaviors, not 3 of them, not when they feel good, but all 4 every single month after month. So I invite you to learn, be a student. I learned everything I know off of YouTube, okay? So you have, I heard Rachel Hollis say, I think it was, maybe it might have been at Summit, Rachel Hollis talked about how ignorance is a choice now with the internet, and that is just so true when it comes to vital behaviors, how to grow your network, all that stuff. And I will say, someone mentioned in here that they're worried about growing their network. If I had been worried about growing my network, do you think I would have hit 242 points in July? Like, I've been coaching for 3.5 years. I have never once run out of people. And here's the thing. This is an activity you probably don't want to be on my team, because this is what I do with my coaches. When one of my coaches comes to me and say, Rachel, I have nobody to invite. I've invited everyone. It's like, okay, cool. Let's hop on a Zoom. You know what I do? I take control of their screen. We get on their Facebook and I start going through their friends list. And I said, okay, who's Susie S? Let's send them an invite. No. I went to high school. Excuse me. Do you think that they would benefit from Beachbody and the community we have to offer? You will look at inviting a different way. That is your fear holding someone else's destiny trapped in your mouth. So I'm telling you, it's time to level up in your business. Do your crap. How many no's? I think that's a Micah Folsom phrase. I can't coin that one. How many no's will you go after to get a yes? I preach this to my team all the time. You have to emotionally detach from the messages that you're sending. It is not a personal attack on your character if somebody tells you no. It is not a direct reflection of you being a bad coach if someone says no. We have to emotionally detach, and that took time for me to learn. That first year, you're already so scared and you're sending an invite, and you're like, oh my God, what are they gonna think of me? But man, I did a vision casting for my team this week. Scariest moment of my entire coaching business. I was like shaking getting on the team call because I didn't want them to feel like it was about me. We're pushing towards elite. And I just was so afraid they were going to think it was about me. And I was talking to my husband about it, and he said, Rachel, you have to show them how to do this. If you want them to be leaders, you have to pave the way. And he said, what if they could experience what we get to experience now with our family, and you not overcoming this fear keeps them from the success that they could have in their business? And it's so true. That person on the other side of that screen, they need you. They need you to walk beside them on their health and fitness journey, and that's your role. So how many no's will you get before you get a yes? So just really leaning into that. No's are not a personal attack on you. It's just part of the process. And that no is going to turn into a yes at some point. If you show up every day for the next 6 months, in 6 months they'll have watched you, and that no is going to turn into a yes. I would almost bet everything that I have on it if you're consistent. All right, strategy 4, customer retention. Okay, so there's all these different ways that you can retain customers. This is what works for me in my business. So I challenge you for your clientele, be the coach that you would want to have. Maybe you have a rock star person that signed you up and they're still guiding you through your health and fitness journey, and that's awesome. I didn't have that. So I didn't have a coach that supported. I mean, she did her best, but she struggled with depression and she was doing everything she could to just survive. So be the coach that you would want to have. Don't just sign someone up and not support them. You want to be relentlessly by their side. And by doing that, there's a fine line in holding someone's hand and wanting it for them when they're not ready. So for me, what has worked really well for me is I created a system that made life easier for me. I use Google Streak. I love it for my client organization. I send out a weekly check-in email to every single active client. It's basically like newsletter format, and they expect it week after week. I provide recipes in there. I share more about what's going on in my journey. I'm like, hey, I have this social event on Saturday. Here's how I'm tackling it. It goes out the same time every week. And so I'm sending it all in one fell swoop. So it's not extra work for me, but they know that I actually want to support them. And when they come to me and say, oh, I'm not seeing any results, I'm like, well, you haven't responded to the last 12 emails that I've sent you. So tell me what's going on. So what could you provide your clients that would keep them coming back for more? Those people are coming back for my emails week after week because they're wanting to learn from me, because go back to point number 1, I'm proof of the products. I lead by example. So it is my job to instill belief in them, because if I can do it, they can do it too. If Stephanie can hit elite, I can do it too. And so that is the belief that we have to build in our clientele. And you start by being proof of the product. So just that, it all ties into each other. Challenge groups are my eat, sleep, breathe. Like, I live for my challenge groups. It's always been that way. They were not like that the first year of my business. It was one of those, let me post a post and I'll be lucky if I got one comment on it. So that took a lot of time and effort to recreate the culture that I really wanted. But it draws referrals in, because it becomes this movement of people changing their life together. Morning Meltdown 100 is magical for this. I would guess you're probably all either in or running a Morning Meltdown group, and you have the opportunity to create that culture. For example, tonight, I was reading through the comments of people who had checked in after their workout today, and I noticed a trend of people saying that they were having knee pain. So you know what I did? I went live in our group and I said, hey, here's what we did yesterday in leg day. Here's how to have proper form doing so. 3 years ago, I didn't know what proper form was. You don't have to figure it out right away. Provide value to them so that they're coming back for more in the challenge group every single day. And that means you show up in there first. And the last part about customer retention is, don't get butt hurt over a cancellation or someone cancels their coach accounts. Do you know, let me show you this. I was hit Success Club 242 last month. You know how many cancellations I had in 1 week? I had 16 coach cancellations in 1 week. All right, so just know They come. I could have gotten personally offended over 16 coach cancellations. I was like, bless ya, love ya. Let me know if you need me in the future. It's not an attack on me. It's not a reflection of my business. I have to emotionally attach because they have to want it too. So don't get butthurt over cancellations or returns. I didn't have as many returns yet. I'm still waiting on it from last month, but I'm sure it will come. All right, the last strategy, and I love that you guys are blowing up the chat. I'm going to look at it here in a second. You're awesome. Strategy 5 is belief matters. And I could do, honestly, a whole call on this. But you will get nowhere in your business if you don't believe that you're capable of doing the things that you want. And for me, it would be I feel like not comparing myself is my superpower, because Stephanie and I started around the same time. Stephanie is a whole heck of a lot more successful on paper than I am. You know what? I am so happy with what I've seen in my business grow, and I am just now stepping into my leadership potential. Last year when she hit elite and I missed it for 2 years in a freaking row, I could have been like, oh, I suck, I'm the worst. I'm like, how can I learn from this? How can I grow from this? It's not an if I'm going to reach my goals, it's a when. And so that is the mindset that you have to choose, because honestly, in your business, there's only 2 things you can control: your mindset and the amount of people that you talk to each day. Everything else has so many other variables that you probably can't control. But if you keep your headspace, you keep it positive, Polly, all the time, you choose joy in every scenario, you lead with authenticity, and you work so dang hard to keep your mind in the right place, then the second thing is you can control the number of people you talk to. When I'm not at my Success Club goals, that doesn't mean I give up. That means I say, okay, I guess I have 50 more people I need to go invite today because I'm not where I want to be. And so that's the only thing I can control. I can't control if somebody completes a share cart. Please, the number of people that say they want to do this and then bail on a share cart is just ridiculous every single month. So I talk to more people so that I have my cushion. And I just want you to remember that those massive goals, I don't know what your goals are on your team. I'm sure we have a variety of people who want to leave their corporate jobs or pay off their debt or have some fun money or whatever that range is. But the majority of us are probably pretty big dreamers. If you showed up to a team call, you want to work your business. Those massive goals are going to require massive action. You can't expect, for 2.5 years, I've taken massive action every single month. And so that massive action is going to pay off for you 2 years from now. But those big goals have to have the action behind it. And you really have to think, are your dreams worth the grit to get there? And for me, my why has changed a lot over my coaching business. And you should expect yours to change quite a bit, at least in my experience. And when I first started, I wanted to come home. I wanted to be with my babies. Your traditional, leave your job, I need to be home with my kids kind of thing. I did that in 8 months. And then I was like, okay, well now what am I doing? And I was lost for a little while. And eventually I started adding things to that. But right now my goal, and I hope to not get emotional about this, but it shows you that you have to stay in touch with why you're doing this business. So for me, July was really stressful. I'm not going to lie. 240, that 120 some people to keep track of is the most draining thing I've ever had. It is such a blessing, and I'll never gripe and complain about it. But that grit to show up throughout the whole month was driven behind my why. And so for me and my family, my mom, growing up, we were very poor. We had very little money. I'm the oldest of 5 kids. My grandparents were put in a nursing home. And my mama, my papa passed away, and my mama was in a nursing home by herself. And my parents couldn't choose which nursing home that she had to go in. She had to go in the cheapest one that Medicaid could afford. And on Christmas Eve one year, we got a phone call that Mama had locked herself out of the facility, and she passed away and froze to death outside. And so for me, I think about my parents, and I think about how I am the only one of 5 siblings that has any hope of a financial future stable enough that when they come to the time where they have to go in a nursing home, that I get to pick where they go, that money will not be an obstacle in me taking care of my parents when they're in their old age. And that drives me on the days that I don't want to show up. And you never get out of, if you're a really good coach, you never get out of sacrifice mindset. I still get up butt early every day. I still sacrifice every nap when my kids are sleeping. I still go to bed late every single day. That doesn't change in 3.5 years. So are the dreams that you're working towards worth the grit that it's going to take to get there? And will you have the belief that it's not an if you're going to reach your goals, it's a win? Are you going to be here for the long haul to be able to celebrate yourself reaching those goals? So those are the 5 strategies that I have for you tonight. But I want to leave you with this, and then we'll open up to Q&A. There's 56 comments in the chat. I've never led a call this big in my life. Hopefully you found this helpful. But action prove who someone is. Words prove who they want to be. And I want you to really think, which reflects you in your business? Are you someone whose actions prove who you are as a coach? Or are you someone whose words prove what they want to be? So I really want you to look at your business and say, you know, these are my strengths. This is what I'm good at. This is what I'm doing really well at. And you know what? These areas, this is where I can grow. This is where I can show up better. This is where I can step into my potential. And you start leading with that level up mindset, that massive goals take massive action. And let that action prove who you are as a coach. And that recognition graphic is going to be like double in 3 months if you take that mindset. So, all right, I'm going to stop my screen share and look at the chat. Stephanie, I hope that's what you wanted for tonight.
That was more than I could have ever expected for tonight. That was amazing. Everybody's like texting me outside of this being like, oh my God, this is so good. So thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I'll start with the questions. I'll ask the first question. So, mom to mom, pregnant fit coach to pregnant fit coach. I clearly am like half doing MM100 right now. Like, I will die. Like I tried doing that one-legged like sidekick thing today. Yeah, that hurt a lot. Yeah. So, how did you come back? Like, so did you have a launch during your pregnancy?
Yeah, let me think. 80-Day Obsession was my postpartum program. So okay. Whatever was right before 80-Day Obsession, I don't think there was a launch during my pregnancy.
Shift Shop, maybe?
Yeah, yes, it was. And I could only do the first 2 weeks of it because it hurt too bad.
Yeah. So I want to do round 2 when everyone does round 2, like October 1st, but my C-section's the 16th. So like I'm not going to be able to start that, but I'm like deep in now. So I'm like trying to figure out how I'm going to do that. So what are your tips for launching round 2, that not just for me, but for everybody, like launching round 2?
Yeah. Well, at first I would say you might be able to start working out sooner than you think. You've led a really active pregnancy. I worked out 2 weeks following my C-section with Henry.
But they're going to sew my abs.
Okay, so maybe not. Just kidding.
Maybe not. Yeah.
Okay. Anyways, so I honestly would just treat it just like a launch. Like literally run an info group, hype it up, create a group specifically for this, theme it, do all, like our theme is babes and bolts. So just create all of the hype around it that you would a launch and have your whole team get on board with that. So, I mean, literally when MM100, ask test group participants to go in there and go live, or people who are success stories in your current Morning Meltdown test group, ask them to go in there and share their transformation. We also have done a lot of giveaways with because we're trying to do a second wave of Morning Meltdown right now. And so we have had our current people who are in Morning Meltdown, we had them go post in the info page their favorite thing about the program. And if they did that and screenshot it, they put it in a giveaway post, and they got entered to win a giveaway. So that was really good, like kind of referrals. It's also helped some of my discount coaches say, oh, well, my friends are interested. I have a coach account. Can I sign them up? So that's been really good. So I literally would just treat it like an info group, hype it up, all of that stuff. Live video testimonials have been really good for us in this launch.
Love that. Love that. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm excited. You're going to love it postpartum.
I'm loving it now. Like I'm loving it now, but I can't do it to its entirety right now. Can anybody else, if you've got questions, please unmute yourself. If you're on my team and you're going to be like, how do I run a free group? I think I was talking with the leaders and we're going to do that team-wide free group. I feel like it's basically the same concept that we're doing in our challenge groups right now, but it's in a free group, 1 week a month, community group, rolling. Let's do it. I say, why not?
Yeah, and I also, for those of you who are not leading it, but you're going to be adding people to it, you have to be the encouraging light in the group. So you go through every day and you comment and encourage every single person that commented on that post. There are 10 people that cheer on somebody who posted their first sweaty selfie. Do you know how much they're going to get addicted to having that support? That's going to make them want to get a challenge pack and be in your challenge group.
I love it. You're right. It is like an addiction. Like thinking back when I first signed up as a coach, I I went crazy right away. And Nicolette would shout me out in the team page like 6 times a week. And it was a lot in the beginning. And I was like, yes, I love this. I need this all the time. So I totally like relate to that. And we were talking about that on our team call last week.
Yeah. And any other, like any questions, doesn't have to be related to free group. I would love to be helpful because Stephanie has helped me so much, and she didn't even know how inspiring she has been to me over the course of the last 2 years, and I'd love to pay that forward.
Speaking of which, Rachel is the mastermind behind Fitness Feud and the Mom Project. So those are like all those stories that I forgot to edit. Those are her stories. That's her childhood.
You mean you don't have adopted siblings?
No adopted siblings.
Okay, so what do you do for coaching sneak peeks? Great question. Question of the hour. So I switch it up every month because I don't like things to be boring. So I rotate between a 1-hour live video and a sneak peek page. Then we do a 2-day informational kind of team-wide effort. That's what we're doing right now, actually, today and tomorrow. And then we've also done a Zoom call where it's been like a webinar. So we've done all 3 for the Zoom calls. We've done incentives. So anybody who shows up to the Zoom call, if they stay till the end and messages, we have a trigger word. So basically we're like, okay, the code word is pineapples. Message that to your coach. And if they did that, then they got entered into a giveaway of like Energize or whatever. So that got more people on the Zoom. But right now we're doing a 2-day sneak peek. So I'll do a live video in the morning, a live video in the afternoon, and throughout the day is actually my team. So my leaders are going in there and they're talking about their stories and an objection. So they're talking about how they were not at their goal weight, and then somebody else tackled time, and so we structure it that way over the course of the 2 days. Is how we're doing it right now.
So I know that I'm going to get this question because I saw it above. People want to know, how did you hit Success Club 242 and you're a diamond coach?
I busted my ASS. That's how. Like literally, nothing is impossible, and you just have to talk to enough people. And quite honestly, in the last year since having my son, my second son, I have really figured out who I want to talk to on my page. And I feel like storytelling is a superpower that most people are not natural at, and you have to figure out the way that you're going to tell your story. And in the last year since having my son, I gained 50 pounds with him. It wasn't like I was super skinny after. I didn't pop out a kid and have abs like Bonnie Engel. Like I had to lose 65 pounds since having him. And so I took them along for that journey. And that was, you lead from the front. I can't say that enough. Like you lead from the front. And that is really, I think, how that has happened, is you be willing to talk to enough people and be here consistently.
I can see everybody's faces right now. So show of hands, who here has not had a transformation in the past 30 days?
It's normal.
It is normal. It is normal. But it's also like a reality gut check of like, well, what are we doing? You know what I mean? Like, where do we need to level up? And the hard part is a lot of you, I just saw a bunch of you raise your hands, and a lot of you are very fit now. So it's hard to get a transformation once you're very fit. But your transformation can come in different ways. It can come in you completely transformed how you're eating, or it could come in how you're thinking, or how you're planning your days, or how you're leading your business, or whatever it is. Your transformation doesn't have to just be physical. So, but it does have to be a transformation, constantly working on yourself.
And get creative, I saw another question in here I'll ask. Get creative on who you're speaking to. For me, I struggled with emotional eating. And so To Be Mindset has been like my love program. Like I would run, if I had the mental capacity to run a 2B mindset group every single month, I would. That's an incredible opportunity that has nothing to do with Morning Meltdown, that you can do a relaunch of something that we already have. Everyone struggles with food. If that's your struggle, that's what you need to be running a group on. Someone asked me, IG or Facebook. I am still 50-50, honestly. I am not one or the other. And I have never shifted off of Facebook. I used to be 100% Facebook, but my Instagram has grown so much, I would say 50-50 at this point. I do both.
I'm going to share my screen just to share your Instagram page for a second. Because your Instagram page has completely transformed in like the last 6 months, and you know that. Yeah. She has totally branded herself. She shares all these beautiful photos. She puts a little effort in to make sure that her photos are scroll stopping. I mean, some of my favorite posts that she shares are like her date nights with her husband and how happy she seems. And that is what attracted me into this business, is seeing this girl like happy and like living the life that I wanted to have. She shares her goals. Like, I mean, her boys are the cutest things in the world. So
as you see the one that he's pitching a fit on.
That's okay. That's real life, real mom life, right? She shares, look at all these transformations, her morning meltdown, her workouts, but her photos are so crisp and clean, guys. Everything, and like these, like your Jericho hair is so cute. But you just see it's real life, but she's put ton of effort into her photos. Like these are not just photos. She was like, ooh, quick, take a picture after my workout and post it. She takes the time to actually take really great photos to make sure that these are like things that people are going to want to scroll. You know how you go through Instagram and you're like, oh my gosh, I wish my profile looked like that. Make it happen. It can look like that. Like you can do that. You've just got to put the effort in.
Yeah. Presets are like, I mean, you take a day to figure out how to use it, and it's a 60-second. It really doesn't take any time.
We're doing that on our team call next week. Our whole team call next week is about photos and making our photos look great. So be here then.
Someone asked in the link what preset it is. I'll send it. It was $1.50 on Etsy.
There you go.
I'll send it to you guys. That's what they're asking.
Okay, let me see if there's any other questions in the chat box.
You did not see me on stage at Summit. I was not on stage at Summit this year.
Last year,
yes. I had my son with me. So you saw in that picture. I will be on stage next year, though.
I was just going to say, I can talk to people face to face, but I have such a hard time writing it down on paper. Does that make sense? So talking about your story. Hard time writing it down.
Yeah, I would sit down and do a memory jogger. Label your papers: mental change, emotional change, physical change, financial change, and you go through and brain dump everything that you've experienced as a coach. Just everything in your head. You just got to get it out on paper. And then from there, you take a topic and you expand on it. When you're in a good headspace one day and you have an hour to write, take a topic and start creating posts to have on hand. Most of the stuff that I do is on the fly because I share a lot. You know, Stephanie talked about our date nights. I actually shared when my husband and I were struggling. We did not do well going from 1 to 2 kids. I hated him. And so you know what I did? I went to therapy. And I talked about going to therapy on my page. I didn't shy away from sharing the hard stuff. But go through and say, okay, because of coaching, I'm willing to self-reflect. You know, because of this, you have to sit there and go through and figure out how to tell your story. A couple quick points: has to have a good opening sentence. You have to be able to stop somebody with what you're trying to tell them. So today I wanted to quit. Everybody's gonna want to read that post. Or the day that I thought I was gonna give up. You know, whatever stop it with a scroll. Give 2 paragraphs. The first one is what you experienced today, how things are going, how different you are now, and how you handled that conflict than what you did before coaching. So today, my son was a cuckoo pants. I wanted to drink all the wine and eat all the cookies, and I wanted to scream and shout and run away. But because of coaching, I have learned proper tools, and instead, I gave myself a 5-minute timeout, and I don't buy cookies anymore because I'll eat all of them. You know, so you're learning how to share your story in a way that is cohesive and makes sense every day. Hopefully that helps. Cuckoo peas. my new line. Every day. My whole day is Cougar Bands.
That scares me so much because my husband and I ended up in therapy after our second child, and this third one's about to come out.
You'll have better tools this time around, though. That's also why I'm not entertaining a third kid anytime. Any other questions that y'all have?
How do you share something that is a part of your journey, but it also affects your family? And I'm not talking like in-laws. I'm talking like possibly your mom, your brother, your sister, like the people that are super close to you and you all went through it together and you might all have like a different mindset about it. But for me, my childhood fucking sucked. Sorry about the tiny humans that are on this call, but it sucked. My line is those boys never, ever, ever, ever having to do things that I did. So how do you share that without making your own mom feel ashamed because she didn't provide for you enough when she was already working 3 full-time jobs? Like,
Yeah.
How do you do that?
That's a tough one. Because I have some past baggage that does impact my family. And so there are things that I won't talk about on my social media because it would impact my mom. And stuff I went through in my childhood, but I always lead from I am feeling this. This is how I'm feeling about how like, for example, you're probably internalizing a lot of that with your kids. And you say, today was a hard mom day because of this. I want my kids to have this. You don't have to say it's because of you didn't get it when you were growing up. But say, this is the vision. This is why I worked so hard. And you're doing it from a place of empowerment versus reflection and casting shame. Does that make sense? Does that help? I hope. That's a tough situation. But really just doing it from a place of, okay, so how can I cast vision into my life and learn from this and share the why? That's your why. That's how you cast it into your network. And say, this is why. This is what I want for my family. This is what I'm working towards. And you go at it from that perspective.
I mean, it was that, but then because the childhood was hard, like a lot of the stuff that we had in the house to eat was bad food because it was cheap. It was something that, if she only had X amount of dollars to put toward groceries or whatever, it was the cookies. It was the fish fingers that I literally wanted to vomit, but I ate them with a smile on my face because I knew that she was providing for me. Like, everyone is like, oh my gosh, my childhood. I didn't have a childhood. Like, at age 15, I was putting in for my mother's mortgage because my parents had separated. Like, I grew up fast. I was raising my brother at 13. Like, I don't want them to worry about bills. I don't want them to worry about anything. And I don't want them at all to ever turn to food, because turning away from food, probably the hardest freaking thing that I have ever done, like ever. And I feel like anytime that I want to talk to someone about it, or like one of the girls that I know for a fact is an emotional eater, I was trying to like tiptoe around it or what have you, and then she got easily offended. And I was like, listen, I'm in no way, shape, or form trying to push off like, my success on you, or saying that you have to do it my way because I'm successful or what have you. But I guess I'm relating to people and they're relating to me, but I don't know, I can't like solidify the connection without like.
Yeah, I totally get what you're saying. So hopefully this will be some practical advice. So feel, felt, found is going to be a powerful tool for you, because you're going to be able to say, I remember feeling, fill in the blank. I felt, fill in the blank. What I had found to be true, fill in the blank. And so you're relating it back. And I use that in posting strategies all the time. So I remember feeling this. I felt like I could never dig my way out with food. What I have found are the tools to help me succeed. You know what I'm saying? So that would probably be really helpful. And when you're talking to someone behind the scenes, use that. I remember feeling that way, girl. I felt, fill in the blank. What I have found is fill in the blank.
And I think that what you just shared with us, you didn't really give us any details. I think what you just shared with us is probably okay to share, like on social media, because you didn't tell anybody anything. You didn't talk badly about anybody. We've got no idea what you're talking about. So, and I also think that your story is going to be most powerful through a video. You are going to want to get real comfy with Facebook Live and Instagram Live and talking and sharing your story. I know that's really scary and intimidating, but your story is going to be most felt through your voice. Because when you try to write it, it's so much harder. I feel like it's really hard to like write your story, but it's easy to tell it. Not easy. Nothing's easy about it, but you know what I mean.
If you say it, there's something concrete about actually putting pen to paper. So if you're saying your story, if you're telling them verbally, even if it's just like with a camera or what have you, it's fluid. You can change it.
Yeah.
But if the second that you're reading it, it's there forever. So I think that's why it's easier to tell you guys that. And I don't really know a lot of you on this call because there's like a crap ton of new people, but I'm sorry that I ugly Kesha cried because my makeup was on point today, and now I'm like, girl, TikTok, let's go.
You have an amazing community here. I would challenge you to lean into this support system because if you look at the chat, like you guys have an amazing community here, and your story is going to be powerful. It will take some time and patience to figure out how to tell it. So just be diligent in seeking ways to do that.
Awesome. Does anybody else have any other questions? We can maybe do 1 or 2 more questions if anybody has anything before we wrap up. Brandy, do you have a question? Okay.
Well, yes and no. Like, you feel like it sometimes. You're like, why can't I just figure it out? You know what I mean? And I've really, since like this spring, really worked on like getting to the bottom of my root issues, and I've gotten really far. But the thing that I think that keeps coming back over and over and over and over and over is that feeling of imposter syndrome. And that's, so for me, sorry, I got emotional, but I have no active working thyroid, none. I was born without it working. That's, an old story for a lot. But like, so I have no like real metabolism. So for 2 years that I've been on this journey, and at times I've shared pictures and like shared my progress, and then at other times I don't, because it's like I do a program and like literally you can see almost no difference. I do it 100% and you can still see no difference.
Yeah.
I do all the work and you can see no difference. There's no difference on the scale, and there's no difference in the picture. And it's so hard because you have people who look at it like, why is nothing changed? You're saying you're doing all this work, and you're occasionally showing that you're doing the work, and I don't show it all the time because it's like that same effect. You're showing it, but something's got to be wrong. Like, people don't understand, so it's really hard to share that authentically and still get that feeling of, well, something's wrong with you. And there is. Like, I have no metabolism. So coming from that, it's just ridiculously inviting, and you get to a spot where you feel like, yes, I need to just get over the nose. But when you get nose over and over, because people literally don't see change. You see other people's change in progress, and you're like, that's amazing. I don't have that. I think it's my desire to want that and to inspire someone else that keeps me going. But like, I literally don't have that. Like, in the last 2 months, I've gained 15 pounds, and there's no reason for it. The only reason is my thyroid condition, and that's it. So it's really hard.
So I don't know anything about you, so I'm just going to kind of give some unbiased feedback. You have to share that piece of your story relentlessly. You cannot, if you really cannot control what your body is doing, there are going to be other women out there who relate to that. And you know what? You're not a quitter. You haven't quit on your health because you have hard obstacles in front of you. That's going to inspire another woman who faces the same issues that you do to also come alongside you and do hard things together. So in every opportunity, how can you say, you know, here's what I'm facing. This sucks. It's so dumb that my body's like this, but here's how I'm choosing to overcome it in a positive way today. And that's going to be the story that is going to attract your people to you. So I don't know if that's what you already do. You may already do that, but that would be some kind of practical like step into that. Because you're in a sucky situation, point blank, but you can take that and run with it in a way that can draw people.
I'm gonna piggyback off of what you just said and give a little bit of the tough love side, because I think, Brandy, you are in your back's against the wall, but you are afraid to invite because you're afraid that people think you're not doing the things, right?
Yeah.
So do the things and show up every single day and do the things. So people see you're doing the things every single day and tell your story, because then they're going to understand your story. They're going to really realize your story and not think that you're just showing up once a week and you're not getting results. And that's why, you know what I mean? Show up every single day and show people that you're showing up every single day. And your story is going to have so much more weight.
Yeah. And everything will get easier because you won't feel like a fraud. When you're that's kind of what you're struggling with, is you feel like you don't have something that's valuable enough. Just you is valuable enough, and if you will show that, people will come to you, and it will be easier.
Thank you.
Thank you, Rachel. Did somebody unmute themselves? No? Okay. Well, then I'm going to let this wrap up. Thank you so much for your time tonight. This was amazing. I think we all took a ton away from this. So thank you so much. Congratulations on your crazy success last month. That was insane. I would like to see you beat that in September, right?
Yeah. I'm still going to recruit high, but it's not going to be 242.
Do you guys want to do a couple boomerangs before we jump off? We've got 2 pages of people. So I want to get everybody.
Amazing. So awesome.
Oh,
here, let me get mine.
I think at the highest point today, I think we had 62 people on here. So that's awesome.
Getting me prepared for my Speak at Summit goal.
All right, I've got page 1, so we're gonna do this twice. So everybody just pretend to boomerang with me twice. So ready? 3, 2, 1. Okay, I got 1, and I'll save it, and I will send them. And here's 2. If you haven't unmuted on page 2, there's a lot of, or shown your video, there's a lot of people with no video, but okay. 3, 2, 1. Okay, got you guys.
Y'all are so cute.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Rachel. I will follow up with you if anybody has questions that they want to send to me. You can send them to me. I'll get with Rachel. Follow her on Instagram. She's got an amazing Instagram account. Her stories are always on point. So go follow her on Instagram. Don't get stuck scrolling, because you would do that for a while with her. But you guys have a great night, and we will see you guys next week for we are talking about how to take a great photo. So and presets and all that fun stuff. So thank you guys.
Bye.
Bye.